process and figuring it out. So for me as a producer, I think it showed me there's nothing I can't do, nothing I can't produce. And it really gave me even more clarity that I'm on the right path.
DeVon, it's great to have you here on Charisma News and to be able to talk about your film Flaming Hot. I got a chance to see the screener the other day, and man, I
Wow.
love this story so much. I mean, I personally was a missionary for 8 years, and that's where I developed a flavor, or really a desire for the spicy flavor. And
Oh, wow.
and so I was basically kind of bland before that, and then being a missionary, I just started enjoying spicy
Yeah.
foods. And so this movie really helped me kind of understand how that culture came into such a wide swath of our nation today.
Yeah.
But I love the personal story. So it's great to be able to talk to you about this. And I know our time is limited, so I don't want to waste a whole lot of time
That's good.
talking about me. But I want to hear how God brought you to this story of Flaming Hot.
Yeah, about 7 years ago, a friend of mine, he just texted me and said, "Hey, I think I have your next movie. I want you to meet Richard Montañez." I met Richard and his wife Judy in my production office, and they just started telling me their story. And by the end of the meeting, I just said, "Yes, I've got to tell your movie. This is amazing." I was so inspired on how he went from being the janitor to becoming one of the top executives at Frito Lay, and in the process, launching what we now know as Flamin Hot and the
Yeah.
Flamin Hot Cheeto brand, and that was just unbelievable. So, that's how God brought it to me through a friend, and I said yes, and believed in it, and it inspired me, and I did everything I had to do to make sure this movie got to the world.
All right. Yeah. And one thing that I found was interesting was I knew that the Flaming Hot stuff was out there, but after seeing this film, now I see it everywhere. It is that flavor is
Right.
literally everywhere, and I hope that
Yeah.
that's the effect that it kind of works in reverse too, where people see that and they want to go see the movie because where did this flavor come from, and how did it get onto our shelves in Walmart or Target or wherever people are getting it, whatever gas station, convenience station, it is just everywhere now. And to see the story of how Richard went from being a janitor to eventually becoming an executive, I love those types of stories. And
Yeah.
so what was it about his story that made you say, I really want to turn this into a film? Like, what were some of those things that stood out to you as he was telling his own story?
It was just amazing. Like, pitching the CEO, calling the CEO and pitching the CEO on this product and, doing the sales presentation and not knowing what market share meant and, feeling like he made a mistake and doubting himself. I mean, there were so many elements that made me want to tell his movie. The relationship with he and his wife Judy, the relationship with his family, the relationship with the different, characters in the Frito Lay plant. I mean, when people see this movie, the movie is filled with amazing, uplifting, inspirational moments that are the reasons why I wanted to do this story.
Yeah, and it's more than just inspirational. There is definite moments of humor
Yeah.
in there as well, and I love the imagination that Richard Montanez has as well. And then he just all
Yes.
of a sudden backs off on that. But you see that this humor side of the movie. Tell me about working with this brand new director. We know her as an actress most of the
Yeah.
time, Ava Longoria. How did you guys come to work together on this film?
Yeah, we came to work together. She came in to pitch me on the movie. I mean, I had already set up the film and I had developed the script and I was looking for a director. And she was one of 12 directors who came in who wanted to do the film. So I met with all of them. And let me tell you, at the end of that meeting, I just knew she was the director. I mean, she just was so, she understood the movie on multiple levels, multiple layers.
Right.
She has a master's in Chicano studies and brought a perspective on how to make the movie more authentic. She was just in command of the movie from that very meeting. So when she walked out, I said, okay, I think the director just showed up. And, I took her in the Searchlight and she did a presentation for them and ultimately convinced them that she was the director as well. And we were able to hire her and, get to the business of making the movie. So it was really her understanding of what this movie needed to be that gave me confidence that she was the right person.
Yeah. And tell me about working with Richard Montañez. And I love that there is a
Yeah.
cameo in there, and I spotted it as well. That's one of the things I
Yeah.
love. Whenever I know it's a real story, I'm looking for the cameo moment there. Tell me about
Yeah.
working with him and trying to get his story on film. Is he happy with how it's turned out?
Y'all into that part of it. He is happy, super happy. You know, I mean, he and his wife Judy are probably on cloud 25. I mean, they're just, you know, they just can't believe that this movie happened and it's as good as it is, and people are loving it the way that they're loving it. And their peers have seen the film. Their peers in the Latino community have seen the film, and
Right.
they love the movie. So it's amazing that it's having this response, and they are very, very grateful for it. Working with Richard has been fantastic. You know, he's been there every step of the way. He's read, you know, multiple drafts of the script. He was on set multiple times. He's, you know, seen the film multiple times. He's been out promoting the film. So he's been great. He's always giving encouragement. He's always a man of hope. He's always got a positive word. And he's just a lot of fun to be around.
That's really cool. So as a producer, you're working with it from multiple different angles. How did you see yourself grow during this process of this film?
Yeah, I think every production has its unique set of challenges,
Right.
and those unique set of challenges and the ability to solve those challenges then produces, you know, unique circumstances for growth. And so for me, you know, I just became even more confident as a producer that, you know, I could tell all different types of stories and still have a, you know, a goal of making them inspirational and succeed in that goal. You know, it grew me as a producer because, you know, at times there were real challenges, like how are we going to make a factory and how are we going to, you know, make it functional, and committing to that process and figuring it out. So for me as a producer, I think it showed me there's nothing I can't do, nothing I can't produce. And it really gave me even more clarity that I'm on the right path.
That's really cool. And I love your story. I in 2021 I got this
Oh,
book, and Live Free,
nice.
Exceed Your Highest Expectations. And I actually
Thank
did the
you, brother.
audiobook. So I had
Oh,
your
nice.
voice in my head so much.
I
And so
love it.
there's a lot of great takeaways that I had from that book, and I was just kind of going through that. And one of those things was about setting goals and to succeed. And
Yeah.
you talked about a season of singleness, which right after I got the book, I went into a
Yeah.
season of singleness, but praise the
Mm.
Lord, I'm married now. But
Praise God.
I want to say your book really helped me keep the right perspective, because that next season of singleness really, I took advantage of it in a way that I was not expecting to, because I'd gone through many years of being single and not having the woman of God in my life that he had until just recently. Got married in December. But I want to say what I got from your book really helped me take advantage of that in between season where I could have been depressed, I could have given up, but I chose to live free and let God lead me. And then he led me to my wife, and I'm a very, very happy man now. So I want to
Oh
thank you for
man,
that book
what a
for sure.
blessing. You're welcome. You are welcome. I put so much of my heart and soul into that book. So I'm glad to hear you
Yeah.
say that.
So
Sincerely, I really, really appreciate that.
I do have a question about that though. You put so much of yourself into that book, and I know it's a couple years ago now. In the last 2 years or so, if you were to write another chapter and add it to that book, what would you talk about?
Hmm. Wow. That's a good question because I put so much in it. You know, I don't know. I mean, it's a good question. I got to think about that one. I mean, you know, the book Live Free is pretty thorough.
Yes, it is.
You know, I don't know. I probably would have just even more to say about expectations and how, you know, they really are weights. And, you know, it doesn't mean we shouldn't have them, but we should choose them very carefully. What
Yeah.
we're going to expect and who we're going to expect it from. Those are that I would just probably underscore that even more. What we should expect, and then who should we expect certain things from? Because the more we expect, the more we're potentially let down. So it's just you really got to know what you're expecting and why, and really make sure that those you're expecting it from are aware and that they've agreed.
Yeah. And I agree with that. I mean, I'm getting married recently and learning
Yeah,
how to communicate those expectations. Again,
that part.
in addition to everybody going to see Flaming Hot, I recommend DeVon's book, Live Free. It was really, really good. Um,
Thank you.
but some of those expectations let's get back about the movie. What are some of the expectations that people can, or what are some of those things that people can expect from this movie?
If they stream the movie, they can expect to see a movie of hope that they can watch with the whole family. It's such a, you never think that Flamin' Hot Cheetos would have anything inspirational behind it, but it does. And
Yeah.
this story, people can expect it to be full of hope and optimism and great entertainment, great humor, and great heart. And I think they can expect that it will go down as one of their favorite movies this year.
It is a lot of fun, and the fact that it is streaming on Disney Plus and Hulu, and it's getting directly into their homes. What's the strategy behind that, as opposed to trying to get out to the big theaters?
Yeah, that strategy is in the hands of Searchlight.
Okay.
Searchlight as a studio, they're the ones that bought the script and the project and financed all of it. So they, from the before right before we went into production, the decision was made to put it on Hulu because that enabled us to have some more resources to make the movie we wanted to make. And we said okay, we said all right, and now I feel, we'll see how it goes, but it feels like it was the right choice. I mean, to be on Disney Plus and Hulu feels like it kind of eventizes the movie in a way
Mhm.
that hopefully will contribute to its success. So the actual decision was made by the studio. So we went along with it and we're okay with it.
Yeah, in this world, it's kind of an interesting thing where people kind of during COVID got away from going to the theaters, so they're more used
Yes.
to just seeing things in home. And I'm seeing a lot of movies that maybe they're in theater for a weekend and then they're streaming already. So I'm just praying that Flamin' Hot has a lot of success and it shows up in people's search recommendations, and that they just click it and they watch it and they really enjoy it, because it is a
Yeah.
fun movie. It's great family dynamics in there. He's got an issue with his father that you kind of go through and you unpack, and you see that development and that character change, even just little bits, but it's enough that it really grabs a
Yeah.
hold of your heart. And so that's awesome, and it's great. Um, if you got another minute, I'd like to just say I really appreciated your role in Jesus Revolution, and
Oh, thank you.
man, it was I'm so used to hearing your voice from
Yeah.
the audiobook that I didn't necessarily put it together, but I was like, man, that voice sounds so familiar. Who is that guy? And they're like,
I know
it's
that voice.
DeVon. I know that voice. I know that voice.
Yeah.
What was it like for you working on a film that like Jesus Revolution, where,
It
or
was awesome.
yeah,
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. Such a special movie to be a part of. And for the movie to be like the top grossing inspirational movie of the year so far, and for it to be so well received. I mean, I can't go anywhere if somebody doesn't tell me how much they love the movie and they saw it. So that is just the whole reason, right? That's the whole reason why I want to be a part of it, is that this movie can, change people, can improve hearts and minds, can bring people into a better understanding of what church should be,
yeah.
and reorient people with what it means to live a life of Christ. And yeah, we're really blessed and feel very fortunate to be a part of that.
Yeah, and that's one of the things that we really appreciate at Charisma Media, Charisma News,
Yeah.
is the connection that you have to your faith in Jesus Christ, and
Yeah.
how that comes out in what you do, whether it's your books, whether it's your pastoring, preaching, your
Yeah.
acting. It comes across, and in every medium that you touch, we can see that your faith is really a core value of what you're doing. You're trying to get Jesus out in a lot of different ways. So,
That's
um,
good. I'm so grateful to hear you say that. So thank you so much.
yeah. So I know our time is short here, but DeVon, I just wanted to thank you so much for taking the time to share
No problem.
about this amazing story from Richard Montañez, with the film Flaming Hot, that's available streaming on Hulu and Disney Plus, and so it'll be in your homes everywhere where you can get it. And so just enjoy this film, and God bless you.